Well, I just tried to go to bed. And it was 9:50, right about. When I was trying to go to bed. It's 10:50 now. That was like an hour. So I'm gonna kind of abandon that for a little while. Do some stuff, work up my tyridity, as I call it. My fake word. Before I take another whack at going to bed. But I was just thinking about it because I just went recently to my appointment to get another neurologist because reasons. But the point being, I was just thinking about it. Let's see, I'm 43 now, and I started having seizures when I was 8. And so for, 6, 8, 10 years after that, but basically the first 4 years after that, they would do some tests. And then after that, it would just be trying to find the right medications and stuff. But those first 4 years, it was like some tests that they would try and run. And so I was just thinking, in that time, from when I was 10-ish years old to now, I don't remember them, the medical community, developing any new kinds of tests. So far, I had an EEG, and now they're scheduling me for an MRI. And back then they have PET scans available. Their PET scans are still available. You can get a full body scan, which I hear are, you can do and stuff, but I hear about those are those are difficult to figure out if any of that is useful. But yeah, I have not heard of any kind of anything. That's been introduced. That makes all this easier for a doctor to go straight to some sort of solution. Because as I was thinking, if okay, if you're a person that has like regular seizures, say a seizure every day, multiple seizures every day, at least a seizure every week. If you have a lot of seizures, fairly regular seizures, fairly predictable seizures, and you're one of those lucky people where what they can do is they can probably be like, well, what we can do is put you in a hospital, hook your brain up to some electrodes and stuff. And we can just wait until we catch you having a seizure and figure out exactly what's going on in there at that point. Me, on the other hand, I have very intermittent seizures. I do not have many of them. I never had many of them a year, even without medication. Um, and with medication, they're under pretty good control. So that's good, but they still come. So we can't get that very useful data of where they're coming from very easily. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe now they can. Maybe there's new methodologies with new stuff in the EEG things that now they think they can or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if you would call it an edge case like myself, where they think they can. Get better readings even with an EEG machine. That they can figure stuff out. So they have the same tests, but they have, say, better resolution in the tests and better data parsing with the same test. I don't know. I guess I'll just have to wait and see. that sucks too. So, I don't know. Because, yeah, it just sucks to not have uh, the kind of, it feels like, it really feels like I don't have that sense of freedom that I really would. That I could have. Especially because, and this is a huge clincher here, because America doesn't have a universal health care system. If America had a universal health care system where we had free health care, where we just had free health care, and I wouldn't have to worry about if I had health care, whether I was on disability or not. Um, then I would be able to have more freedom of movement, more freedom of earning more money so that I could move, so that I could live other places. Because I can only live in places that are cheap enough to live in. Because even places I could afford have rules like the 2.5 times monthly rent rule, let's say. So a lot of them are like, well, our the monthly rent would be, this place doesn't have it. Like, this place doesn't have that 2.5 times income and monthly rent, but another place would. If their rent was like $600, that would mean that my monthly income would need to be $1,500. My monthly income is not. And I try to explain to them I'm on disability, so I'm not going to get fired or anything like that. So you're going to get, I mean, maybe they actually want the ability, that they want someone that they might be able to kick out because of delinquency. I don't know. Or they just don't like just people on disability. Some landlords just have kind of discrimination on people on disability. I, I bet that's a I bet that's a that rule is essentially a way to discriminate against people who are on disability, a legal way to discriminate against people who are on disability. I'll bet that's what it is. It's a legal way to keep people who would be able to essentially afford it out of the good people housing. So, whatever. That's okay. You probably wouldn't want me there anyways. I'm a very bumbly bum. I'm not exactly the poster child for uh, whatever. You know, good advertisement for upstanding disability person. I don't give a shit about what I look like or, having a very great looking place and everything. I own almost nothing, don't give a shit about keeping it all tidy and stuff. It's pretty clean, it's just there's not much here and it's fairly messy, but it's still pretty clean. It's just disorganized and stuff. So I realize people probably can't wrap their head around the difference between the two, but yeah. Anyways, ugh. Tax rich people, decap rich people, oops. Oops.